Welcome back to the Nolan Finley Show on the 910 AM Superstation. I'm Nolan Finley of the Detroit News, joined by Kelly Cobb and Shay Norling.
Good morning.
Next up, our next guest is Dr. Antoine Garibaldi from the University of Detroit, Mercy. Dr. Garibaldi, thanks for joining the show. Welcome back.
Well, thanks very much, Nolan. Thanks for having me.
You're winding down the school year out there at UAD.
Well, the school year has been wound down for probably about 3 weeks, and now that we are into summer school, we're preparing for our next class of first-year students with orientations.
And you expect a big class?
We are expecting a big class. We, as you know, instituted a tuition reset from $41,000 to $28,000 this year. And
yes.
We are pretty close to our numbers that we had last year at the end of the cycle with 550 students. So we had about 540 students at the moment, and we're looking at between 575 and 600 for this coming class.
So what impact has the tuition reset or reduction, what impact has that had both on your students and on the financial situation of the university?
Well, we have a large number of students, over 95% of our students who receive financial aid. Yeah. And so one of the reasons why we did that was for tuition affordability. And we know from our applications, more than 5,800 applications have been received thus far. That's about 700 more than last year at this time. So we know more students are taking a closer look at us, which was the original intent. And we have secured a number of students who I've gone to some other institutions, not only in Michigan, but also in nearby states.
Meanwhile, the impact on your bottom line.
Impact on the bottom line is probably going to be neutral, because one of the reasons why we wanted to do this is we really wanted to get more students, and our enrollment has been increasing over the last 4 years, and retention has been good. So the rationale behind getting anywhere from 25 to 50 more students in the first year class is that will actually balance off what we would have received at the other tuition, at the tuition cost. So it's not intended to really increase the revenues in any way, but we certainly want to educate more students.
And, you know, the impact on your students is, they will graduate with a lot less student debt.
Absolutely. And the likelihood of them going on to pursue graduate and professional schools is much stronger, because they will have a limited amount of debt, and that's a lot less stress on them, and they will also not have to take on second jobs and other things that they would ordinarily do if the tuition was higher.
So, Dr. Garibaldi, this is Kelly Cobb. We were all up on Mackinac Island last week. Education was a huge conversation that was had on the island, filling the talent gap in Detroit in particular. And obviously, U of D Mercy, you guys are sort of central to that. What were some of the takeaways that you saw from the island?
Well, I think the most important takeaway was Dr. Vidi's remarks on the panel with the mayor and President Sissel and a couple of the other board members, Sonia Mays and Rochelle Rowley, who moderated that. I think one of the key things is that he was very, very firm and strident in his comments that the children of Detroit public schools, community district, deserve a lot better. And one of the ways in order to make sure that that happens is to really expand the amount of collaborations with institutions like ours and other educational institutions, and also that the business community play a very active role in that resurgence in the school district. I came, as you know, from Erie, Pennsylvania, but a long time ago I was in New Orleans, my hometown, for 15 years, training teachers and working very closely with the New Orleans Public School District on some of their initiatives. And we really obtained a lot of traction in the success of Detroit, the New Orleans Public Schools, by engaging the business community. And I conducted a study on African-American males in the school system back in 1987, a long time ago. But one of the things that we really did in the school system was appreciative of was the fact that they really were able to engage the community, the business leaders, in a conversation and also ways in which they might be able to help parents really provide their students with some of the after-school kinds of support that young people really need. So Detroit mirrors New Orleans in many ways.
Dr. Garibaldi, as we look at college affordability, you addressed it head on by reducing tuition. That's a rare move. We know the trend in tuition at both our public and our private universities has been to well outpace inflation over the last 10, 20 years. You reduced your tuition. That was one big way to address college affordability. As we look at what college costs today and the amount of debt kids are coming out of university with, should we be re-examining the whole structure of college? Should we be having a discussion on whether 4 years are really necessary? Could we do the same amount of educating in 3 years, say, for a number of the majors? Should we be looking at ways to one, make college more efficient, and two, make it less expensive?
Right. I think all of those things are appropriate. There are a number of programs that we have, for example, where we have a combination of a 3+4 in our School of Dentistry, where a student can begin in the first year saying that they are very interested in dentistry, and by the time that they're seniors, they begin to start their dentistry education.
So you take a year off the process?
Exactly.
And that saves,
right.
$28,000.
So exactly. Well, one of the other important initiatives that we've had for some time, and I have to say the Detroit Public Schools and a number of the parochial schools have participated in it, is we have a dual enrollment program. So we have probably 120 students right now participating in that who are juniors and seniors in high school. And those students can take 1 or 2 classes a semester in their junior and senior year, so that by the time that they reach their graduation from high school, they essentially have anywhere from a semester to a semester and a half of courses that have already been taken. And so that...
Do they pay for those courses?
Pardon me?
Do they pay for those courses?
They do pay for those courses, but they pay for those courses at a very, very reduced price, as low as $100 per credit. So we've been pleased that, I know from the numbers that at least 35 to 40 of those students are coming from the Detroit Public School District, and also some of the other parochial and private schools in the area. So those are ways in which I think institutions are trying to be much more deliberate, recognizing the fact that not only is cost a prohibitive factor in students considering a community college or a four-year institution, but also the fact that large numbers of students who are coming to college these days are coming in as first-generation college students. More than 30% of our first-year class, for example, are students who are coming from families, socioeconomic levels that would never, ever be able to pay a full fare of college. So we make that possible for them through scholarships and lots of other grants that the students can take out that they don't have to pay back.
We all remember our college years, and, I was a commuter student working and paying for my college as I went, and, I was required to take a number of elective courses, many of which had nothing to do or little to do with what I would be doing after college. And I thought, if you put all of those together, those courses, I had to take 2 PE courses, for example. You put all those together, you could eliminate a semester or perhaps a full year of college and get your degree in 3 years and save a quarter off of the tuition. I think we have to start thinking about things like that as the cost of college has gone. A 4-year college degree has gone up well over $100,000, even at our public universities. When you factor in board, you can easily spend $130,000 to send a kid to Michigan State University.
Right. Well, I certainly can tell you that faculty and deans of the university, as well as myself, who have served in all of those roles, are looking very closely at that. We want students to have a well-rounded education, and they need much more than just the courses in their particular major and discipline. But some of the things that the universities, our university, for example, has been doing is looking at ways in order to make the expense a whole lot less. We're ranked number 32 in the nation, for example, as a best value schools. So we have really paid attention to that, as we have also made college affordable to a lot of the students. And I might also say that this past year we began a program with Upward Bound that includes 60 students from the Detroit Public Schools, Frederick Douglass Academy, and also Mumford High School involved in that program. And that program is primarily a college prep program, so that a student from as early as ninth grade begins to look very seriously at the amount of courses that they need to take in college, and also prepare themselves very well for that eventual experience. So all of those kinds of college coaching and college advising classes and advice will help those students tremendously when they graduate from high school.
Dr. Antoine Garibaldi, University of Detroit Mercy, thanks for being with us today, and thanks for what you're doing to
thanks so much for having me.
Keep college in the range of more students. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks very much.